Welcome back, everyone. Today I bring you a new game with the second new division of the new patch. That actually isn't even that new now as well, because I am fairly slow at getting out videos. Sorry for that, but I am in the process of moving, and I have also had fun playing other games, like for example Age of Empires 4. Recommend it for everybody to try the game if you like real-time strategy. Really cool. Really cool game. Well, I have had it since release, but I haven't played it for like 2 years. And yeah, so play that on the side a bit as well. But I wanted to still do a video on the other new division because it seems pretty cool. The 35th Infantry Division, National Guard, that has a shit ton of M60s. And yeah, obviously National Guard infantry, which is cheap, but not really that bad. The other division that has a National Guard is the 24th, and there you have the big issue that your National Guard squads are only 6 men strong, so they're really not that great. If you take them, you mostly take them for the cheap Bradley, National Guard Bradley, or well, you took the National Guard fire team with the dragon when the dragon was busted because that was just ridiculous. But luckily that is in the past. Now with this one here, your squads are bigger and you have a bunch of squads that have the recoilless rifles, which are very strong. In the squads, it is because the recoilless rifles themselves have gotten nerfed. But because the squads they come in with are pretty cheap, you can spam them out and yeah, just try to overwhelm your enemy. Also, you have this very cool unit, which is a scout unit with a Dragon 1. Now, of course, it only being a Dragon 1 is not gonna do shit against like tanks or something. But because it's recon, it has the recon forward deploy, and you can still snipe transports with it, or well, I mean, with the newest patch also nerfing the range. IFVs is a little bit harder to do, but you can still defend yourself against vehicles from a decent range early on, so that's very strong. And you also get the recon M60s, as you might have noticed. So yeah, this is like a budget M1A1 ACAF. And you see I take them up vetted, so I only have 2 of them, and my idea was to just do a pretty heavy recon opener. See, I also am using the new recon plane because I can't show you the unit card right now for reasons that I don't really understand. In the deployment screen, I can click on the plane here, but it won't open the unit card. It has some HE rockets and some smoke rockets as well. And well, obviously it is a recon plane, so that's fairly cool because you can get advanced recon information early on. It also has a 7.62 minigun, I think, but yeah, that really is neither here nor there. Like, it does exist, but you're not gonna use it for really anything. And I was thinking about maybe also utilizing the smoke if I would get the opportunity to smoke my command or my units into this sector in case he does some heavy deployment in the open, which I wasn't sure about because like Puritanner, if you don't know, is a, how can we say it, famous guy in the community, I guess. He's very good. And he was ready fairly quickly. I wasn't because, well, new division, it's only the second game on this map for me, and now on the other side as well. I haven't played that much because of the whole moving thing right now is a bit hard. And so I took some time. And then also because, you know, if your enemy is has finished their deployment very early on, you also have to think about, well, are they maybe doing some air rush or helicopter rush? well, air rush is very unlikely with 56, which is the division we're playing against, by the way. 56, yeah. The second VDV division we have. But they can obviously helicopter rush, because they can get helicopter transfers for, I think, literally everything they have, all their infantry. And now also, by the way, another new thing in the patch is that you can airlift a bunch of light vehicles with your helicopters. And one division that can do that is, for example, 56Y. And they also just get the standard Soviet armored helicopter, which also has been buffed in the new patch. Well, not the armored helicopter itself, the Kokon, the Soviet helicopter ATGM. It is faster now, which is pretty important. And yeah, so I was a bit concerned that there might be a helicopter rush, because I obviously don't have any forward deployed AA, so this would work pretty well against my division. You can see I have 2 Stingers deployed on the back, and the National Guard Roland 3. Pretty cool unit. It has the Roland 3 on top of it, but it's just like mounted on a truck. Pretty cool. But yeah, those are not forward deployed. They take some time to get to the front line, and until then, all of this could be already toast. So that was a bit dangerous. And I also didn't remember exactly whether the 56Y has forward deploy. I thought they didn't, except for obviously the recon. I was pretty sure that it's like one at first, that they don't really get a lot of, or basically no forward deploy infantry, but the whole helicopter shenanigans. You can see also deploying an ITO on the left here for some control of the open. The CEWI is a new recon unit that has a GSR trait that is fairly small. You only get 4 men, and you see also it's not special forces or anything, and also not the airborne forward deployed. But the big advantage is that it is, first of all, fairly cheap, and second of all, you get 6 per card, so that is pretty cool in my opinion. You can see I now exchanged the Roland 3 for a fighter in case he does some helicopter shenanigans. And on the right flank I have a very, very light deployment, one of the National Guard scouts with the law in the building here, because that provides very good vision. National Guard scouts with the Dragon 1 into here, in case some light vehicles go through here. Another, how do we call them in a way that doesn't take me half an hour to pronounce? Shui. Let's call them Suis. Another Sui recon squad in this building there, ITO here, command tank here, by the way. And yeah, that's it. Oh, by the way, also some M113 with TOW on top of it. Also pretty cool unit. It's pretty good because it has smoke, by the way. Doesn't have good stealth, but smoke. So use the recon plane to spot some infantry, but unfortunately I marked it away just before it could spot it. So I couldn't get a shot off, though I also wasn't sure whether I would have gotten it off anyway because of the angle. He deploys his infantry squad, and you remember, yeah, right, they get the recon squad that has the Stinger, so yikes. Luckily he missed. So I just called in the F-16, just gun strafe it. Barely don't kill it. I was a bit unlucky. But there was enough time for my recon plane to turn around and strafe it down, so that's very cool. Tried to get another unit here, but the recon plane does some weird maneuvers and flies directly over the enemy AA, and so yeah, it's not going to be long for this world, because I'm pretty sure it has 0% ECM and only 6 health or something, so yeah, you're really not going to survive any contact with AA for very long. You can see a bunch of ATGMs flying at me, smoke off both my M60s, though so far it has been going quite well. Engage one of the Conquerors. One hits, second one hits as well, but one Conqueror dies. Kill off the enemy MiG-23 with the shotgun F-16, which is the only fighter you get. And it also gets sniped by a bunch of enemy AA, so very heavy AA deployment by my enemy, which was a bit weird. I mean, I guess he killed off both of my planes, but I mean, I got the map control, so that's fine by me, honestly. Especially because if you remember, this map only has those 1-point sectors, so getting an advantage on this map is very, very strong. Now just push through with my Recon M60, which is super cool because it can spot for itself, snipe off one of the Strelas, Very important because the big weakness of 56Y is its very lackluster air defense and fighters. Here the enemy NSV is engaging my Sui, so that was very bad and it gets killed off. And this M68 can't use its main gun because it's just stuck on the hill, but it does drive further forward because it can use its machine guns already, so yeah, that was a bit unlucky, not well microed by me. And here I see the laser guided bombs coming in. Kills off my command tank, fair enough. Didn't have DAA and my F-16 got insta-sniped by his Strelas, so, well, that was meant to happen at some point, but that's totally fine by me. I'm at a +3 tick. I have taken a lot of the map. Nothing really going on the right-hand side, which I thought was very weird, because I would have assumed that he would have tried to push into this town here, because he has just way better infantry than I have. It's also a lot more expensive, but like it has more veterancy, and it isn't disheartened. So you know that's already two very important stats. Saw the NSV here, so I go in with the LGB. Didn't spot Chaika in time, though I wouldn't have gotten it anyway because it got out of sight in time anyway. Luckily, one of the Spetsnaz GRU with its Stinger misses, so the LGB survives. I was lucky, because he had quite a few of them deployed in the town. Kill of the NSV. I just wanted to get quickly rid of it so that it doesn't have it as fire support and just pushes some infantry over the open here. But as you can see, I basically have no infantry defense here, just the ITO against some vehicles. But that's it. Here the National Guard engineer with the recoilless rifle comes in their M113s. Pretty cool looking. It's honestly a shame that like the National Guard has basically the coolest looking skins in the game. Or the camouflages for the vehicles. But well, it is what it is. Push my M60 further forward to exploit the advantage I have and kill off some infantry here. The M150 trying to snipe off an enemy vehicle, but it gets out of line of sight in time. And yeah, well, his infantry here in the open really just a sitting duck against my tank, and now the infantry is gonna go to work with their recoilless rifle. As you can see, really nice. Just zone out your enemy, because there's like literally nothing you can do there, even if the tank wouldn't be there. So now he brings in his second LGB, and my AA was not in place. You can see I just packed it up again to move it up further forward. Bit unlucky timing there. Though, well, this happens from time to time. Buy in the second IHawk because obviously he now has at least at least one LGB up, but I'm pretty sure those are at least two, because no way the first one would have reloaded so quickly. Ito here trying to snipe the BTR and does it. Another big advantage of 56Y is that they get BTRs out the ass, with also all kinds of weird attachments done to them with helicopter rocket pods and grenade launchers and napalm launchers and God knows what. They're not very strong, but you just get a lot of them. Well, just like, to be fair, I get a lot of M113s, but they only have a 50 kill. And as I said, the BTRs of 56Y have a lot of crazy stuff with them as well. Brings in the recon helicopter that has the, how is it even called? The jammer trait here, right? That will prevent my GSR recon from using its GSR. I don't know whether they buffed the radius. It seems larger than it used to be, which I think is pretty cool. Because before, at least if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was as big as like this for longer, and this is actually quite some time ago now. But I always felt like you had to move very closely to your enemy to actually affect them with the jammer trait, and now you can see like this is a pretty big map, and you can see how much area it covers with its jammer ability, I guess. So that's very cool, very neat. Plane coming in. Though I have my AHawk in position. Second one is in the backline already as well. Get a hit on the LGB. completely misses, because I guess he thought that I moved my infantry up into the building there, which I possibly would have done if I would have paid attention and known the building was there. But luckily I didn't, and both my squads survived. So right now he's not really doing anything, because he doesn't want to overextend and lose all his stuff.
Be careful.
I also don't want to overextend myself too much, so that's why there's like not that much action going on. Spot that he has brought in a 240mm cluster mortar. I remember those things as being quite bad. I'm also buying in the M110s, by the way, because they just have horrible aim time, their spread isn't that great, their fire rate is ass. So yeah, if you hit the first shot with the cluster mortar, it is pretty good, but if you miss the first shot, like your enemy's just gonna drive away, and the chances that you will miss are pretty high, and it costs like 230 points, so like, yikes. That's quite a lot of points for an artillery piece. It's not gonna do much most of the time. But yeah, well, he brought it in, and I was surprised by that, but also interested to see how it goes. I'm, by the way, still on a +2 tick, so that's also why I'm not like going too aggressively into the enemy. Here, by the way, I was completely destroyed by a helicopter because I didn't have enough AA in place, like one Stinger back here. Yeah, that's really not enough. And the Eyehawk back here doesn't have line of sight. I guess maybe I should have put it like more towards here, though I'm also not sure how the sightlines are already weird in WARNO to begin with. But then air to ground and ground to air sightlines are even more ass, so whatever. See, I'm slowly moving into the sector, though the genius that I am, I completely forgot that you need this thing called a command unit to actually capture the sector. So while I'm pushing the enemy out and pushing my units in, really not gaining anything from that because I don't have a command unit in place. Snipe off one of the enemy's exceptional recon vehicles. Conkers still finds a way onto my tow 2 truck, but it misses luckily. Though because this is also disheartened, it gets instantly routed. Like here in this division, it's not like your infantry is disheartened, or like reservists as it's called in WARNO. Almost every unit you have is disheartened except for the airplanes. I think. Yeah, and your command vehicles are also, like the command jeep here, for example, is not disheartened. A reservist, sorry. But I'm pretty sure almost everything else is reservist. So yeah, you can see a miss by Conkers already can route your vehicles. Now I also was a bit of a dum-dum, because of course for this case I have the military police unit in my deck, but I completely forgot to use it at this point, so that was a bit dumb. Because I really would have used it. You can see here as well, like one tank is instantly routed, the other one is instantly maximum suppressed. So that's really painful. Also the T-62s in this case are very good counters to my tanks. First of all, because the MD has the 2800 meter ATGM, which is just a great tool to have either way. And also, yeah, well, they have a lot more veterancy, more armor. The gun is, I think, still a bit better than mine. So those tanks are pretty dangerous to me. I have the M60 with the ERA, though, so that's pretty cool. Can look at this unit. Looks pretty janky, but also pretty cool. You can also see I have an LGB bomber that hasn't been doing that much, because, well, I have already lost quite a few planes to AA, so I didn't want to risk it with the, how was it, 260 point LGB. Target the Strela 10M with artillery, because I thought that would be pretty good to kill off his AA. Considering I have already killed off at least one of his Strelas, I think even two. So that would be very helpful for my F-1680 and the LGB bomber. Now here both Stingers unfortunately didn't get their shot off, so it's a bit sad. And you can see M60 against T62. I mean, I hit and do basically no damage. He misses, but does a lot of suppression damage. Here I get a crit, so that's pretty good. Yeah, this tank is now basically completely out of combat, and also this is track broken, which definitely doesn't help. And yeah, now they're also outnumbered, so that's pretty bad thing. Svesna's GRU moving up from the flank, which was a decent idea by him because my infantry here was running low. CEV gets sniped. Mortars are starting to shoot at the forest line here. Hit the M60 once. Let's see if they can hit him twice. Yeah, they do. So that was very painful. And here I could have already realized, they're shooting much faster than I was used to. That's a bit weird. Try to move in the command M60 to get some damage on the GRU, but at this point it was already too late, so I decided against that. Like, all my infantry and my tanks here have died. Moved up some Stingers onto this flank in case he redirects his helicopters. Brought in the F-16AT to snipe off one of his tanks. Was targeting the command tank, because I was seeing just billions of tanks standing around here. And I thought I sniped off one of his Strela 10Ms, so I might as well risk it and go in, because I mean I have like 30% ECM, right? Yeah, it turns out that's not enough. Which also, to be fair, wasn't really smart by me, because I knew that he moved into GRU Stingers into here. Yeah, still a bit unlucky. Also should have obviously evacuated to the left and not to the right over all his AA. But I mean, at least I sniped his command tank in return, so at least something. Yay. You can see more infantry here coming in, but I have lost the position in this sector now, so that's already way too late. Also, I have finally brought in the military police, which is also a little bit too late at this point. Put my artillery on a supply, because, well, sniping off supply is always good, and I thought it would be better because I can kill off the supply pretty quickly, well, as you saw, while sniping a tank will be pretty hard. And I mean, he's a good player, so he will most likely move out of the way. So that was a good decision. Both supply vehicles still had plenty of supply in them, so very valuable kill. But now I'm preparing to play a bit more of a defensive game, because I haven't been able to push into here. Now he has a big blob of M60s, T62, sorry, I have the M60s. Though, as you can see, I don't really have a blob. And because he has those T62s with the ATGMs, blobbing doesn't really work. Like, he has the T62s with the ATGMs, he has Conquerors, he also has helicopters that he can call in. So, like, just blobbing my M60s and moving over the open is really, really not a good idea. Here you saw the cluster mortars again sniping off one of my vehicles. And yeah, so I don't really have the possibility to advance at this point. Could have bought some smoke mortars and utilize them, but didn't think about it at this point in time, honestly. But yeah, so basically I'm just waiting for him to start pushing me. I mean, I'm almost 1,200 points ahead now. I'm more than 1,200 points ahead, so I don't really care. See T62 on the left-hand flank, and I thought that, well, if he has a lot of AA in the center, he can't have much AA on the left, so I just quickly sniped it off with the LGB, which worked out perfectly. Snipe off his LGB with my AA, so pretty good engagement so far. Not really sure what to do with the LGB at this point. Whether I should use it again against this big blob of tanks, or whether this would be too dangerous, because I mean, I have already lost an F-16AT and I really don't want to lose more of them. Because I saw, yeah, the M60 in a duel against the T62 is really not doing that well, and here I was kind of indecisive, but in the end decided to, you know what, fuck it. Gonna retreat it, use it another time, this is not worth it. Played long game. I am so many points ahead on a map where you can only have a small tick at best. So why risk it? Just stay calm, let him do his thing. Tried to counter battery his mortar, but he instantly started moving it. Very well done by him. And here you can see here now quite a few infantry squads and the T-62s moving up. And with the Dragon being nerfed, it really can't do much in this position. Try to get a TOW 2 on target, but I mean, well, his ATGM is faster and has more range, so that was not the best idea. Cancel the counter battery with the howitzers because I mean I saw him move, so wouldn't be much point in going after him. My recon here is getting completely destroyed. Quickly pick up the IHawk to move it further behind. You can see Grad is opening up on my ITO here. It doesn't kill it, but routes it, because of course it does. That's really par for the course with this division. All your stuff is gonna route all the time, unless you have military police everywhere. You can also brought in a military police squad to here to try to keep this position for a bit longer. So another tank on the left-hand flank. So I just thought I might as well try to go in again with the LGB. And it worked. Now brought in an F-16 AT as well to maybe do some wombo combo with them together. Should work pretty well. Should have also called in the second LGB, honestly, that was a bit dumb. Go in for a quick snipe on T-62. Works fantastically. That's exactly the thing I want to use my planes for. Countering the enemy in the open. Here the F-16 does this weird thing again where it's like, the engagement range is too low, even though it will fire its Maverick at like 5 meters anyway. So that's why I kill both Strelas, but the LGB unfortunately still dies. It would have maybe died anyway, but still the attack would have been carried out a lot more cohesively if, you know, the F-16 wouldn't have turned away so stupidly. Snipe off another T-62, but he still has it to GRU Stingers, so the LGB gets hit once again, and now both my planes are out for repairs, which would take quite a long time. Though it was a good engagement, got some good kills. The only problem is that, you know, killing off the Strelas and then having your planes still be repairing for quite a long time, and those are the only strike planes I have left, is still not that good. Because the idea of killing off the AA is obviously that you can use your air more freely, right? And I don't exactly have a lot of helicopters to use, so that's not something I can utilize. Yeah, so this really went like mediocre. His troops are moving up further and further. You can see starting to target my units in this forest line here, so I start retreating them. Here the truck of the IHawk unfortunately died. I can't remember to what. But is that so I have to move the IHawk back, which would take ages. I didn't try whether I can use like the M813 truck here as a towing vehicle. Should have tried it honestly, but well, I didn't. Here cluster very luckily misses my howitzers. I also stopped them in time before driving in. That was that was a close call. We wouldn't want to use them against the cluster mortars. You can see here I board in a helicopter on the left hand side. National Guard, Cobra. You get 3 of them per car, which is pretty cool. But yeah, same disadvantages. The other units as well, disheartened. So not that great. He predicted the path of the IHawk perfectly and snipes it off. So very well done by him. Brings in his 2 fighters to snipe off my helicopter, though I now also have a Roland here, so the Roland and the IHawk together shoot down one of his fighters. That was at least something that was an okay trade. Though here it's a bit of the same problem, right? Sniping off his planes isn't worth that much from yet at the point where I have lost half my strike capabilities. T-62 is moving up over the open, brought in an ITO here and still have the TOW 2 vehicle here. And here, by the way, the catastrophe happens. He saw my howitzers with his recon helicopter in the back and put his mortars on them. And that's where I actually realized, hold up, those mortars are way better than I remember them. They fire way quicker and their spread is so narrow. With all the strikes they've done, here they also kill an IHawk. And I looked at it after the game, at the stat card, and yeah, they have been buffed massively, actually. Which is, in my opinion, very cool, because that gives the one of the unicorn units of 56Y an actual use case, and it helps it against one of its big weaknesses, which is heavy armor. And yeah, well, the mortars got buffed in, well, aim time, fire rate, and spread. So, I mean, basically, if you do it quickly enough, you can catch off your enemy before he has time to move his artillery. So, like, while they're wind down their barrage, or while they're still in the barrage. Because normally, I mean, you can do that with normal artillery as well, but your normal artillery won't do shit, because like it will hit and maybe do some damage or some cohesion damage, and that's it. But in this case, because it's cluster mortars, as you can see, they instantly snipe the artillery. And with cluster MLRS, the problem is obviously that its aim time is just 5 years long. So those are very strong. Counter to this would have obviously been for me to just position my artillery way further in the back, because I think the range of the mortar is fairly limited, though I'm actually not sure about that. Maybe if we get to spot the mortar at some point again, I can try and see what range it has. But I think that's the thing you should do against it. In this case, I didn't do it because I, well, didn't read the patch notes completely, because there were a lot of patch notes, and yeah, as I said, I have other stuff to do at the moment than reading like 5 pages of patch notes. But apparently it got buffed, so you have to watch out for it. Now you can see there's quite a big mechanized push coming over the left-hand flank, though I assumed that this would be coming, so I redeployed a bunch of my National Guard M60s over there. They're bunched up, so that's not a good thing to do against ATGMs, because then, because of the splash damage, they will suppress several of my M60s, and yeah, as you have seen several times throughout this game, they get suppressed and routed extremely quickly. So that's not the best idea. Though it looks pretty cool when they drive in this formation. Nice. Brought in my planes again to snipe off his BMPs. Don't know how he brings in his fighters, so I quickly disengage, because I really want to keep my last 2 planes alive. Well, it's not technically my last 2 planes, because I still have the scout planes. And yeah, well, even though they're in the recon tab, they're obviously still planes. But you can see, like, he has neutralized the tick, but he hasn't really gone on the offensive, which I think is partly because I have sniped off so many T-62s of his with my planes, that his, well, ability to push over the open is fairly limited, especially against all those ATGMs I still have, and the bunch of M60s, because at this point, like, you can see I'm still printing M60s like there's no tomorrow. Well, he should be running fairly low on his T-62s right now. Infantry here just sitting in the open, well, it's not in the open, but on an island and not being able to do anything. Don't have AA in place to protect them, so yeah, they're just gonna be mopped up by helicopters and tanks. Nothing I can do against that, but like, that's fine by me. They're basically just buying time. Grad here really devastating on my tanks, not because it does a lot of damage, but like, they're out for like quite a long time now, because as they're at 0 vet, they also take a long time to regain their cohesion. I think vet 1 gives you something like 3 times quicker cohesion regeneration. So if you didn't know, yeah, veterancy is extremely important for your units to regain their cohesion very quickly. And that is even more important for your tanks. Yeah, you can see I have reinforced the left-hand side quite a bit. Here I am a bit light on the defenses. I mean, I have my M60s here, though I would really need more ATGMs here. I have a bunch of them, but I also don't have that many long-range ATGMs in the deck overall, at least in this variation. After the game, I actually rebuilt the deck a bit and put in more ATGMs. I get a beautiful hit with the Maverick. I think it even got a double kill. MiG-23 shoots like at a crazy angle and gets my LGB. I was 100% sure that because it's a Fox 1, so a semi-active radar missile, it would lose track once you turn away, but apparently like it doesn't. So that was a bit weird and unlucky because, yeah, now I have only one strike plane left. And I mean, there's still 12 minutes left, so it's not like the game is over. Like, he's taking quite some time, but I mean, if he takes 2 points, that's still a +4. And it's not completely unrealistic. I see a bunch of helicopters on the right-hand side, so I instantly knew, okay, he will try to go around my flank and either land in the town sector here, or maybe even go further around the flank and try to land in the back sector here, which honestly wouldn't be the worst of ideas, because I mean at this point he needs all the points he can get, right? So you see I instantly buy in a bunch of units because I was lucky to spot it instantly. That's also why the recon unit here is so important. Always have a recon unit around here, even though this area is like, it seems like a dead zone, right? Like, you know, usual map design tends to do that. Especially against helicopter divisions, it is very easy for them to just sneak around some helicopters here and then harass your back zone. I mean, to be fair, I don't have any artillery anymore that you could kill, so there's that, I guess. But yeah, he can still capture my points. Call on the last few helicopters, because I'm pretty sure that he won't have like some airdropped AA with him, so that even if he gets through, I can delete his infantry with those 2 Cobras. Because they're still Cobras, they will still do a shit ton of damage against enemy infantry. He calls in his planes to strafe my helicopter, so that's a decent idea. I try to land the helicopters, though one of them gets killed. Hit one of his fighters with the Roland, but only once, unfortunately. I have no fighters left anymore, so can't do anything against his fighters with my own fighters. Call in the recon plane just to keep sight of the enemy helicopters in case they push through, and they do. And I mean, they obviously instantly kill off the recon unit in the tower there that is completely cut off from everything else. And you can see there's a lot of helicopters here. 2 Stingers will have to do a hell of a job. Though nothing much going on the left-hand flank. Something happening in the center. Though the Itor here is doing God's work. Stinger here doing God's work too. This one here, not that much. Roland 3 moving into position. Misses and will get completely shredded by enemy helicopters. That's a bit unlucky. Should have honestly bought in more Stingers, that would have been a better idea. But here you can see the helicopter, yeah, doing great work against the Afghansky in the open. Fighter doesn't kill my plane. I brought in the F-16 AT because it still gets the M9M. And yeah, hits my F-16 once, but I kill it in return, and the Cobra survives. Enemy squad is dead. Here, I fucked up because I brought in the engineers with the satchels, and yeah, well, they can't do anything against the Chaika. Should have brought in a squad with some AT launchers as well, but I moved up the command that was buffing up the artillery once it was still alive, RIP, to, well, prevent him from capturing the sector, so that was a very good decision. Slowly whittling down his helicopters, though there are a lot of them. Those are the Mi-24, how do you call them, the transport ones, that the Afghansky come in. They have only a few unguided rockets and they're a gun, but I mean it's still an armored helicopter, and they're not that expensive, so you can see they can do quite a lot of damage. Stingers here run out of ammo, unfortunately. MiG-27 with the AT rocket guns in and gets killed. This is, by the way, another unit that has been buffed. Or like, not the unit, but the card, because you can now get 3 of those planes, which is very strong, because the plane is very, very good. And yeah, I still have control, or like, well, I don't have control over the zone, because it's still contested, but I have killed off most of his helicopters at this point. You can see more infantry coming in. Though there's still an Afghansky here that captures my supply truck. That was not very nice of him. he's still trying to like move over the far left. Don't really know what's that about. Like he really doesn't have time for that. More infantry coming in now with an actual AT launcher in their hands, so they can do something against that. Also some military police in the Humvee, though they will now be engaged by the Afghansky and killed off because the Humvee is so lightly armored that even the napalm will kill it. That was not that well done by me, not gonna lie. Also moving up the Stingers, not the brightest of ideas, not gonna lie. There was some infantry coming in here, but the ITO here just insane, doing insane work. You can see it's already at vet 2. So this thing killed off so many units. Very, very well done. Also here, like, he faces the problem now that he has to move over the open. By the way, his cluster mortars coming in clutch again. He used them very well as well. Like, props to him. But yeah, that was the reason, by the way, why I wanted to attack on this flank early on. Because I knew that later on I will never be able to move over here again. And moving through the city, I mean, you can see what a slog it is, and fighting his infantry with my infantry is very, very dangerous. I mean, I have pushed him out, but I mean, like, those were like 2 squads or something, and you can see half my infantry is routed, the other half is dead. So there would have been no way for me to win, other than rushing this here early on, putting my own ATGMs and tanks in some favorable positions, and then just hope to get enough points to win later on. And it seems to be working quite well. Another GSR recon squad is gonna be killed off by a bunch of units of the enemy. My infantry and I sent some infantry to the forest line here. It's been killed off already. He's coming with another command to contest the sector, which, yeah, makes sense, because he at this point is just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm not sure whether he already typed DG or not, but he didn't surrender after typing DG. Wasn't a big problem, but it's just because, I mean, I was winning anyway. But that was just weird. Like, if you already typed GG, and in this case, it's basically hopeless for him. Like, he might as well just leave and save us all the time. You can see on the left-hand flank, BTR doing work against my M60s. Somehow penetrating their armor. Maybe it's because it was side armor, I guess. Yeah, because it was side armor. Interesting. And yeah, Afghansky really good against infantry, but obviously they will not be able to do anything against my M60 or the M113s. So very good that I have them. I take basically all my National Guard in the M113, because 50 kills are... I mean, they have always been strong, but as they now outrange actually the Dragons and Metis, they are even stronger. Infantry here has now finally been pushed out, but you can see more infantry has already been pushed into this city, because why not? I have the National Guard printer that goes brrrr, and I will use it. More cluster mortar coming in, but no worries, there's more than enough National Guard waiting to replace the losses in the field. And yeah, there's just not much you can do against all the M60s and the infantry. Well, obviously he could if he wouldn't have lost so many points early on, but now it's just no way. I lose, you can see I lose units, new units already on the way, more coming in, more coming in. I still have several tanks left in my deck, still have infantry left in my deck. I have run out of planes and helicopters, but well, it is what it is. I even still have AA left. ATGM situation, not the best, not gonna lie. I still have Dragon 2s, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, as I said, they are not that great anymore in this patch, so you really have to have more long-range ATGMs. But yeah, I said that I already reworked my deck to incorporate more of them. I took out the... is it somewhere here? Yeah, the M728 ACAF, because really didn't seem like I needed it that much, and just replaced it with one of the ITO Jeep card, so that I have the TOW M113 that isn't that stealthy but has smoke, and a TOW, and then the ITO Jeep that has got stealth, and that has 2 more availability. I think that will be a good thing. He tries to move in his Chika through the town here. Not a great idea. There were 2 squads with laws in there. And I mean, there were also tanks moving up here. Also still had the tank command, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, really getting desperate now. See some BMP-2Ds moving up, trying to get into this sector again, but really hopeless for him at this point. Maybe also the helicopter attack was really not a good call for him to make. I don't know. I guess it worked out, or it could have worked out better if he maybe also microed them better or had his mechanized push going in concisively into here, because the ITO that vetted up so much killed off a bunch of BMP-2D infantry that were coming through here. If you would have just moved them up here together with the helicopter infantry, there's a good chance he could have taken the sector. But he didn't. He split up his forces and he then just drove into my ITO and the infantry there, so not the best decision. You can see here fighting over the open for him is just an absolute pain in the ass. I'm driving my M6s through his back line. They're getting sniped by ATGMs, whatever. I was just seeing whether I can maybe find some funny backline snipes. He's slowly but surely taking this town here, but what is that gonna get him? He only has 1.5 minutes left. Even more Mi-24s coming in, but I'm pretty sure I don't kill this one off. Yeah, Stinger misses. Roland is like out of sighting range. Also only has 1 missile left, by the way. Yeah, really a cool match. It was pretty intense. I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't look that intense, but in the moment, obviously, I always had to be ready for pushes everywhere. Like the push in the beginning had to be done pretty well, almost perfect, because otherwise I would have lost everything in the opener. But luckily, it was the other way around, and basically he lost everything in the opener. Bring in the last 2 scout planes, by the way. Sadly, the F-16 gets sniped by a Stinger and has to retreat. Really sad. Both recon planes also got sniped by the enemy fighter, though my Stinger snipes in return. National Guard Stinger, maximum veterancy, by the way. This guy really did his part. Yeah, so I thought the game was pretty cool. I also learned my lesson with the cluster mortars. And honestly, it made me want to try 56Y. Though obviously it has pretty strong weaknesses, so I'm not sure. But maybe I will try it out. You can see I even have negative KD. But doesn't matter, still won. I mean, that's kind of expected if you push in early. And especially with the National Guard Division against a division that is, well, the complete opposite. Like, this is the shitty reserve division. This is a super, not super, but a fairly elite airborne division, helicopter-borne division. Yeah, this is the absolute hero ITO. You can see how many squads it sniped. Like, imagine, I think the meta squads were from an earlier attack, but imagine those 2 squads would have been attacking the town together with the helicopter attack towards the end. That would have been a lot harder for me to deal with. Yeah, this AKF here sniping Estrella early on and killing off 2 Conquerors, also very important. Here, this Tochu sniped off a bunch of his exceptional recon vehicles. Interesting, by the way, that he used them. You basically never see them used. And I don't really know that they're worth it, but I don't know, maybe he thought they would be. LGB here getting a bunch of tanks. I think point-wise, it actually paid itself off, because the MD is definitely a little bit costly because of its ATGM. The MD1 don't have the ATGM, so don't know about them. Yeah, artillery not doing that much because it got sniped by enemy cluster mortars. Oops. But well, it's to be like that sometimes. F-16AT having a pretty good kill list, especially also a fighter. That was nice. This is pretty sure the hero Stinger that killed off shit ton of units. So very well done. See all those helicopters getting killed off in the push on the right hand flank. And yeah, you can see no crazy kills at this engine. You also got a good kill list, but mostly not that much. But if you have so many units on the field, you don't really have to do that. Just try to snipe the key enemy units with your key units, and then you're pretty much fine. Conquerors here getting a bunch of kills, though nothing that impactful except for the Totu. T62 here also getting a bunch of M113s and a few infantry squads, so decent kill list. And here you have the cluster mortars. As you can see, it's really doing a great job. But yeah, well, if you don't read the patch notes, you might miss stuff like that. But now I know. This one here getting both my howitzers. Owie. Grad really didn't do that much. I prefer the two baby Grads because if you use them both on the same target, you basically have the same effect as a like BM21 or RM70 or whatever, but they reload a lot faster. And obviously they get, because you have two of them firing at the same time, they get the same damage done in a way shorter time period. So the enemy has also less time to react to it. So that's why I prefer the baby Gruts, not the big ones. Yeah, this Polymagiki getting a bunch of kills actually did pretty well. What the hell? Yeah, but other than that, you can. The thing is, like this one here killed off 3 units, but the thing is, all those units are dirt cheap, and yeah, Afghansi is not dirt cheap. So that's very much the playstyle of this division. Have a shit ton of units and just throw them at your enemy, especially with the M60 printer that you have. And I don't even take all the M60s you can get. You can make this even more absurd. So a lot of possibilities for you guys to spam your enemies to death with M60s. Yeah, so overall, fun game. Also, gained some nice elo. He was rank 58 before that, so was happy about that. And I hope you liked the video. Yeah, because of the move, I don't think I will be doing any new videos for basically about a month. So sorry for that, guys. But this will be a lot of work because I'm also moving quite far, and the apartment is completely empty, so we will have to do everything from scratch. So yeah, a lot of work to be done. We'll return to gaming when all the real life stuff is dealt with. And I hope to see you then. And have a nice day, morning or evening, whatever it is where you are. And until next time, bye bye.